Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Lorelei Shamayo, and this is MeWe Fairs for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. We have events throughout the Northwest and many online, and we interview our practitioners and vendors who get a chance to know who we are before you meet us at an event. I'm excited to be here today with Jan Jorgensen. Jan, it's lovely to be with you.
Thank you, Lorelei. So happy to be here today.
Great. So, what do you do? What do you offer at our events?
Well, I have brought forward a scientific spiritual process that helps women release fear from their speaking voice. I can track the frequencies of your voice. I'm a registered nurse, I'm an energy healer, and I can track your voice. It's called a voice bio. So we can do a little reading and I can look at your health, your emotions, and then we can do a little release process. So it's one stop for looking at your health and releasing fear from your speaking voice.
Oh, wow. So, you're doing all kinds of health analysis, fear analysis in the process, and then in the context of speaking, and I'm sure it's useful for all kinds of different things.
Well, it really is. I work with light workers. I work with women who are on their spiritual path and they're ready to stand on their platform and claim their mastery, but their biosystems and emotional patterning sometimes holds them back, especially if they're speaking about new paradigm things that have no place to land out in this crazy dissolving world. So I give women confidence and clarity on their role as messengers and how to mitigate some of these fears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you specialize in working with women and assume non-binary people. What had you not work with men?
Well, because it's not gender based. I should say I'm working with the essence of feminine, which is
Mhm.
spirit and intuition, because we've had such an imbalance. So I'm not helping men find their voice or the masculine to catch more deer and to be in charge and to be manipulative, predatory behaviors. I'm working with people who want to find their voice and sit at the round table of collaboration, co-creation, creating new initiatives. I see you nodding.
Mm.
I mean, we're on the same team.
Yep.
And this is
Yeah.
such an exciting time. So we need to find our voices and we need to say, actually, no, this doesn't work for me. Set boundaries, or you know what? Let me think about that. Go into non reactive states. And so that we can regain our sense of balance and use the wisdom that we have through our feminine intuition. We're hearing the friggin' truth. We're hearing the best next step. And here you have a frenzied masculine profit driven world that may not give you your space. I don't know how many times people have taken my time up on stage and in projects, and I just can't do it anymore. So I still get speaking anxiety when the stakes are really high. I'm not perfect, but I have the tools and I love teaching them. I love empowering. Uh, correct people, and of course I'll take men. But my whole tour this last year, I'm on a Queen's Caravan spiritual walkabout tour. I go into homes, I go into communities, events, and in fact, I'll be bringing this little red wagon to the events, and people will see it in the parking lot, and it holds the magic of finding your voice to transform the planet, whatever it takes.
Wow. Well, how did you get started doing this? Speaking, working with fear, wanting to go on your tour?
Well, I actually wanted to be a singer, and I sang in Las Vegas. I was a professional singer, but I had such anxiety. And someone said, well, Jan, why don't you sing at the bedside of dying patients? It's a very low threshold there for, you know. So I began singing as a nurse, I became a certified music practitioner, and the state of grace that opened, where I could sing with no pressure to perform, but
Hmm.
just to serve the soul, changed everything. So I started studying and taught at the Sound and Consciousness Institute and took it from there. And now my PhD dissertation is on the topic of, can this method, this scientific spiritual method that I've developed to release fear in the soma, the body of people, patterns, relational traumas and patterns, can this process release the fear of speaking up for light workers? So I've really studied it and embraced it. And I'm the perfect person because, again, because we have anxiety in our family. It's inherited. We have trouble with the methylating gene. My parents were anxious. So I truly understand it from a new age sense of vibration. This is energy work of repatterning it vibrationally. No drugs, no long-term therapy, no talking, no cognitive repatterning, blah, blah, blah. We go right to the source of the first time that you felt shut up, zipped up, and shamed. And that's a vibrational miasm. I tone right into that, and we phase shift it and we dissolve it. And the
Mm.
amazing thing, when I do it in a circle, if one woman had an overbearing mother, everyone else in that environment through sympathetic resonance releases and becomes free to speak and say whatever their truth is without worrying about somebody mirroring that angry, controlling mom to come in. So we get rid of the old script so we can stand up and, yeah, be fearless and say the truth.
Great. Well, and so how did you get started doing this whole journey in your van, this tour?
Well, now that's fascinating. I became challenged and I didn't know why with my health, my
Mm.
hair, my eyes. As a nurse, I was completely perplexed. And I said, well, this is Spirit's way. I said, I'm not sure what it is, but I believe it's something in the environment because I got sicker moving to Pacific Northwest. I
Mm.
said, I need to go to drier areas. And I've always had this love of ancient gypsy Romany Vardos. And so I said, I'm going to go out. And then the Spirit said, the Queen's Caravan Spiritual Walkabout Tour. And suddenly, all these other women want to do it. And we meet up and we
Oh,
cross
wow.
circuitry and Women on the Go. There's a whole group called Women on the Fly. And so, about the time I got the Vardo, I did some tests. There was a leak at our house, opened it up, mold mold. So I was
Yeah,
exposed to
that's what I was
mold. Mold
wondering.
is
Yeah.
getting taken care of. But it was, at the time, I said, I know this illness that I have, there's a reason. And it was to get me out. So really, the dream tours, I went to Sausalito, fabulous, old and new friends. Mount Shasta, unbelievable. And then Sedona. So I'm creating an infrastructure of the feminine finding their voices in these powerful locations. And we know each other, so I can go back. We can do events. I went to Moab, Utah,
Mm.
wherever there was sunshine, and try. So I don't have the van yet, but magically in November, I had already done 2 tours. Fabulous. Did it in my Subaru Ascent, even slept in a camp. But this gentleman, who's the best Vardo maker in the world, he put out, I joined all these Vardo sites. He put out this little red wagon and said, I don't know who it's for, but I'm leaving the inside empty so the person can design it. And I'm like, that's affordable. I can have a sink, I can have a porta potty. I contacted him. It took me a month, but I realized I called in a loan. I got an insurance rebate. The minute I decided, I remember telling my partner, well, I'm getting this van and I'm calling and I'm telling him I'm buying it. I just hope you don't get too mad. And bingo, the universe. So it's mine. It's called Chocolate. So wherever I go, I have a little box and I'm going to give people chocolates and I'm going to say, this is the taste of your freedom. These brain chemicals are you not running on fear of how you're coming across. And it's totally Well, I've studied the neurochemistry and the neurological connections and triggers for fear, and I've learned that if you meditate and you go to the still point and you empty your mind, this
Mm,
seems kind of opposite. If you empty your mind before you speak, it all flows through. Okay. So, for instance, we had this Zoom. I don't know if it was a phone call or what. I said, well, I'll put my lipstick on, and there we are. Now we're Zooming. I didn't perseverate over what I was going to say or what I was going to wear. The excitement of making this resonant connection with the people that are waiting for me to bring this service at your fairs, that's what I focus on. And that helps get
yeah,
rid of the fear, basically, too.
yeah. Oh, it's great. That's great. I'm so excited that you've got the band going along and that so many more people are going to experience what you do. This is
Very
great.
cool. I can't wait to come. And I see you have so many different venues, which are wonderful, Anacortes and Bellevue. And so I'm fitting it in my schedule, and I'll have a little booth, and I'll have my voice bio to do the measurements. And then people can choose. It'll be like a buffet. You can do just a voice bio by itself, or you can do the voice release. And I know it's a noisy environment. So everything's intention. So we
You
can
may
do
walk outside with people. We're right on the water in Anacortes. There are all kinds of options at all the venues.
I love that. That's a great idea. So since we're not afraid, I was thinking, should I put a screen up? Maybe, but maybe not. Maybe it's a good thing for people to,
Let's go
because
outside.
everything else will benefit.
Yeah. Well, great. If people want to learn more about you and connect with you on the web, where do they go?
Yes, because I can do sessions on Zoom, and I have a YouTube channel that describes voice release. YouTube channel is Jan Jorgensen. Be the light and soar. Soar is an informational system of how to connect with other people. For these changes, it means sounding our authentic resonance. My website is soundandlighthealingarts.com, and people can contact me through SOAR, SOAR, global vision at gmail.com.
Okay,
So
great.
this summer, I'll be coming to Pacific Northwest fairs, and I'm glad to come to People's Unity churches or event spaces. First thing though, 2 or 3, I leave on Easter, a big event in Marin County, and then I'm driving to Maine to pick
Oh,
up the wagon
wow.
and back. And
Yeah.
I have some wonderful speaking things here and there. So
Great. Great.
big trip coming up.
Well, thank you so much. It's been so much fun learning about what you do and hearing about the big vision and the flow over all of this next year.
So
Great.
great to see you again. And thank you for the container that you're holding to accelerate this revibration of the planet. I
Mm,
totally get what you're about, what you're doing, and I appreciate it.
you are so welcome. And for all of you listening and watching, you can learn more about all that we do at mewefairs.com, MEWEFAIRS.com. Thanks, Jan.
Beautiful. See you soon.